A very special thank you to everybody who tunes in to the Justin Podcast. And I also want to give a special thanks to all my sponsors.
Hi, Tom Bodette. Everyone's saying frugal is the new cool. Well, I have two quibbles with that. First, cool is subjective. Some think head-to-toe leather is cool. It's not. It's one man's opinion. And second, frugal isn't the new cool because it's the old cool. Motel 6 has been saving people money with the lowest price of any national chain since before it was cool. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you. Book online at motel6.com.
He's considered to be the greatest announcer in XTV history. And now, Justin Turkeyleg brings his famous voice along with his awesome friends to the podcast world. This is Justin's Podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the title. It's a lengthy one today. It's heavy. A lot going on here on Justin's Podcast. And, I gotta formally welcome you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Always great, to sit down and give you guys a piece of my mind, a piece of my experience as I see things. A lot been going on in the world of XTV. I want to kind of keep this intro so short. Of course, today my special guest is Venom from the XTV Observer. For you folks that don't know about the XTV Observer, I call them the Illuminati. That's all he is. They the XTV Illuminati sitting up there watching everything, peeking everything, from afar. Vince, he's a cool guy, and believe it or not, but Terry Williams was actually a member of the committee over there. Of course, you might have heard the podcast with Julia McKenzie. That's actually Vince's mother. She was supposed to be on here today, but she old, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to find a nice way to say it, but she old. She old, y'all. She ain't the same Julia. I did talk to her recently. She doing good. She in good spirits and things like that. But she just she seemed a little bit slower. I ain't trying to make her do too much. But to be honest though, I think that she just ribbing. She to that age. George Carlin talked about this once before. You get to that age where you just get people to do stuff for you just because you know that they will. You know what I mean? She knows what she's doing. But I love you, Julia. So that's my guess. We're talking about the top 50 stars of XTV, and not just the top 50 stars of XTV, but I got this here book, and it's got like all the different names, all the top 50 names under the XTV umbrella, but actually it's actually expanded to other leagues like AOA and AOR and even KXW. I understand. Maybe a name or two ended up on the list. So very in-depth talk. Like I said, I want to kind of keep this intro short. I had a couple things that I wanted to share. Of course, most recently, AOA episode 35 is up. Haven't gotten a chance to see all of it in its entirety, but I've seen a whole lot of it. It's been good. I'm just going to go back and watch it from the top. I seen it when it came out on the first day. A lot of interesting, crazy things already happening, man. And, Raylan ended up getting involved, and Monster had to picked up, and he was about to body slam my ass. That dude crazy. And Z Ice threatened to suspend him. It's more still to come. So that's coming out. I also saw the King of the Ring. I was talking on my last episode about King of the Ring. I got to see some of that too. I probably watched about half of that as well. That was emanating from Dayton, Ohio, and this is kind of for a lot of you guys who already watched King of the Ring, this is probably old news to you, but it's new to me. Damn it, this is my first time getting to see a pay-per-view from J-Dog. He's the announcer over there, doing a great job. Just, I got a couple things that I had wrote down as I was watching. I put nice touch, with the time clock going up every round. He definitely knows a lot about the history of the King of the Ring and WWE. I mean, listening to this guy, he knows his stuff, and that's one thing that I noticed about J&W Boss and J Dog. Like, they just so knowledgeable about the WWE product and the history. And J&W Boss, he's a young guy that he wasn't around when like Bret Hart and them was doing his thing and stuff. Like, I don't think he was even born yet, but he know it as if he did, and I think that's like really cool. And it comes out in these guys' commentary. So yeah, I got a lot of different notes. Dusty Rhodes and KO, that was so good, man. The tournament came out, and I'm not usually a big fan of tournaments. Being on an actual show. I think that's why they got rid of that. That whole King of the Ring concept, because I don't think that Vince McMahon is a big fan of that, really. Because I don't know. It's just like it's hard to invest, but the way this played out, I mean, it was really dope. I didn't think that Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, was actually going to defeat, the young and new KO. He's just so young and fresh, and he's just got that vibe out there. We know that awesome moveset. But this was a great match. I found myself, being engulfed in these matches. Like I never thought about the fact that like these simulation matches, these dream matches, so to speak, are just like a cool concept. I just never looked at it that way. And as I watch these things play out, with the pop up power bomb, I thought it was gonna be all over, and Dusty kicked out, and it's like, man, good old Dusty kicking out. It's just I don't know, man. It's something about seeing these dream matches play out. Of course, Sting versus Dean Ambrose came up next. It was a awesome spot in there with the steel chair. Great false finish right there, and yeah, man. Again, back to the commentary. I got it here in my notes. I put great storytelling in tournament with Dusty, the common man, becoming the King of the Ring. Of course, J Dog was alluding to a previous episode of Monday Night Raw. Where they was talking about that, and again, I haven't seen the whole show, so I don't know if Dusty gonna pull this thing off, but I'm definitely interested to see. It's like I didn't see the Raw episode, but I was completely invested in this show, just based off of the information that I was receiving, and then they on the 2K18 game, sometimes when the match finishes off, like there's a sequence, like if it was a good match, and I guess if everything is everything, or maybe two baby faces are wrestling or whatever. I don't know how the algorithm goes in the artificial intelligence, but sometimes, very randomly, you'll be playing a match, and at the end of the match, two guys shake hands. Well, you can't really control that. I mean, it's just a thing that happens. The computer does it by itself. But I like the way, these guys just took the time to go ahead and. Okay, they shook hands. It was Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton lost after the match, but he shook Drew McIntyre's hand. The thing plays out, and then Randy ends up turning on him and beating him with just beating him up real bad. So yeah, that was just great stuff. And like I said, I still got more to watch. I think I watched another match. I watched a couple more matches. I think I finished with Ultimate Warrior in an Intercontinental title match. I think he wrestling Bret Hart, but I could be wrong. I get a lot of stuff wrong, so I apologize if I did. But okay, see, I'm only 8 minutes in, but yeah. This is going to be a good podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to talk about, those two things, because, I mentioned it last week, and I thought that they was real good. So I'm going to be checking them out, in its entirety, and you'll hear my thoughts on the results on my next podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So much going on, like I said, in the world of XTV. Vince Venom, I got so much on my mind. I want to tell you about it, but I'm going to hold off because this is a whole 2-hour interview. You know, I wanted to cut it into 2 pieces, but as everybody knows, my 50th episode, yeah, it's next. That's another thing, real quick. My episode, like, I just, you know, my last podcast, I thought that, you know, I was on like episode 44 or 45. You know, I didn't realize that I had done like more, and that they just weren't put in the playlist that is there on XTV World. You know, that's how I keep count, and that's how it's also like available to you guys if you want to, you know, rewatch something, or if you want to, you know, find something that you never seen before on my podcast. Go to the archives or something like that. They all just right there on the playlist on the XTV World channel. You know, very convenient. So you ain't gotta, you know, be trying to look through here. We trying to think. You know, we trying to figure this thing out. But you know, it's a lot going on. Anyways, so two more episodes. David Kidd Jr. and David Kidd Sr. You know, that was added to the playlist, and then the one with Julia. So that pushed it up to like 48. And so this here particular episode right now that we recording is episode 49, and yep, my 50th one is up next, and I'm very excited about that. So yeah, that's all, you know, for right now. I hope you guys enjoy this interview. It was a good time, and you know, tell us what you think. I just want to say ahead of time. Hold on, real quick, because. You see, in this, you know, I get very spirited. You know what I'm saying? I get very spirited, you know, when it comes to certain talents, when I feel like they being misperceived and things like that. And, you know, something about Julia and this guy Vince, you know, they just bring something out of me. So, to any of you stars who maybe I might have offended, you know, I don't mean nothing by it. Okay, I just want to say that I don't mean nothing by it. It's just that, you know, there's certain things I know, but I want to point out the fact that maybe I you know, maybe I don't know everything. Maybe I like, you know, maybe you're gonna see that maybe I'm going into this with the wrong idea. You know what I mean? You know, and maybe, you know, I mean, Vince works at the Observer. Maybe he sees something different because, you know, he's got an outside perspective. So who knows? You know, I think that we all should approach this thing, you know, with an open mind. I mean, it ain't something that's like some be all end all. It's just what they think, and you know, I think that we should all approach this with an open mind. That being said, I'm finally done talking, ladies and gentlemen. Vince Venom, he is up next. Cat footwear ain't about shit, ladies and gentlemen. I know that months and months ago on some old podcast, you might have picked me up going, oh yeah, buy cat footwear. They this, they that, they great. Well, that's because I had bought a pair of shoes from them. And you know what? They had last. In fact, they still last me to this day. But I had bought me some blue shoes to match my blue shirt. And in like 6 months, them shits had split. That's right. So, you know, you can't, you know, trust somebody who can't deliver you a good quality shoe. You know what I mean? You know, Nike never did that to me. Reebok never did that to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Fila never did that to me. But cat footwear, nah, y'all going half-ass with the shoe. And if y'all gonna go half-ass with y'all stuff, I'm gonna tell my viewers not to buy y'all shit. There you go. Thank you. RJ? Well, this is usually the part where I go ahead and tell you guys the .com, but Justin just not shitting on that. So don't fuck with cat footwear and buy some Nikes. Spend a little change at the Burlington or something.
Justin's podcast.
Let the bullshit begin, ladies and gentlemen. On the line, Vince Venom. How you doing, Vince?
I'm good today. How are you? How you doing today, Justin?
I feel great, man. I'm happy to have you, of course.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, you know, yeah, man. Of course, everybody remembers Julia, your mother. You know.
Hey, watch what you say about my mother. All right, just rip it. I'm just joking.
No, you know, I mean, she gave me a hard time, of course. But you know, she had, you know, she had some questionable points on the list.
Can I be honest? Can I be honest?
Please.
You know, my mother is entertaining, all right? She is entertainment personified. Bottom line, period, boom, it's done with. You understand?
Yeah, I mean, listen. Like I said, I ain't complaining about
No,
it.
she just does it for the entertainment. She bugs your ass because she understands that it entertains them.
Yeah, I get it, Vince. It's just that and I don't have an issue
She told me
with
that
her.
you went on this whole tirade about, you being upset with her because of your spot on the list. Listen, this year, I think you're going to be very happy with the spot that we provided for you. I thought very long and hard. We fought very hard and, spent many countless hours over this particular list, and you know exactly how hard it is. You know exactly how hard it could be, how very difficult it is for us to put together these lists under the guise of XTV. This year, we're bringing in all new guys, all right? Because everything is supposed to be fresh. We missed last year. Now this year, we have it coming back. So, we thought about, trying to appease people. But, bro, at the end of the day, you already know, we have to tell the truth. We have to, come from our perspective, So here I am representing for XTV and the XTV Observer on their behalf. Like I said, my mother, who people did not give a chance. This is besides the point, but they did not, Justin, you understand that they did not give her give her a chance to actually even speak. That's XTV Conspiracy 101, but we're not here to talk about that.
Hang on now, we gotta let the fans in now. What Vince is talking about is, of course, everybody know that Terry Williams is the commissioner now, but his running mate last year was Julia McKenzie, and
no one even gave her a chance to speak. Justin, the victory was already predetermined. You said it yourself. You said on some recording, I don't remember what it is, don't put me on the spot now, but I could find it. You said it yourself. You said everybody knows that Terry Williams is next. Did you not say that?
Well, I mean, people say things all the time, Vince. You got to realize.
No. It was predetermined, I tell you. Predetermined for Terry Williams to be the man that he is. My mother, Julia McKenzie, did not have an iota of a chance last year to become the NXTV commissioner. Am I right or wrong about that?
I got to say that you're wrong.
You know that you're lying through your teeth, Justin. You know it, and the fans know it. All right, let's move on.
See, what we having right now is a repeat of last year. That's what we having, Vince.
It's not going to be a repeat of last year. You're going to be able to get your points in.
I already scanned over, the list. I've seen, the list, and I gotta be honest, man. I gotta be honest. Now we got 50 people on this list, ladies and gentlemen. And, you're going to piss a lot of people off with this, Vince.
Listen, it's like I said, Justin. It's not about making people happy. It's about telling the truth. If individuals are able to sit back and think about it, and mind you, this is over, the last year or so, okay? So, consider right now, today is what? Today's like the 18th, right? So from this time last year, what were these people doing up till this point and now? That's the premise behind what we chose to be,
all right,
as far as the placement. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, Vince. Let's just get along with the list, because it is 50 stars, and I'm looking through, this book, and it's quite elaborate,
Took hours, Justin. Countless hours.
I can see it. It's quite elaborate. I haven't seen anything like it before. I got this whole layout, all these superstars and their stats. Very, very beautiful coloring and all of that. But man, I mean, okay,
Everybody who's listening to this broadcast, where's this going up?
This go up on YouTube on XTV East Coast.
Everyone on YouTube who listens to this, think about the past year or so in XTV, all right, and everything that XTV has touched, meaning there's going to be people from perhaps KXW, perhaps there's going to be people from AOA, okay, and of course there's going to be people from the west side, and of course there's going to be people from the east side. Now, mind you, mostly of those names on that list, of those 50 individuals, they're going to be East Coast. Let's be honest. I mean, that's what the people are seeing out there on behalf of XTV.
I can already see you rubbing some people the wrong way. Let's get to it then. All right, let's just start from the bottom. All right, I'll try to be brief. I don't know how long you got. I don't know how long this might take, but we got 50 names. I'm looking at number 50, and I'm already upset. You telling me over the past year, you say what today is, the 18th, September. We're in 2018, ladies and gentlemen, who listening to this in the future. And he's got Yaki Najiu at number 50. Now, but before you go off, Yaki is a beloved individual.
Justin, before you go off, listen, understand that Yaki Najiu is a legend. I love him to death. I've met him. I've been with him. He's been inside of my house. I've met his family, the whole team Yaki, the works. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm a Yaki fan, but I am also telling you that to the fans of today, Yaki Najiu is a nobody.
Man, come on, man.
He's a nobody. And this is why, listen to this, and you know it, and his fans know it. You guys, you go over and you go on, and it happens to each and every one of the legends here. Nobody's thinking forward over there. That's what we're observing. We're realizing that nobody's in a forward, progressive thinking type of a mindset. Everyone is stuck in the past. They're all stuck on their past accomplishments, all of these different things that have nothing to do with present day. What is happening present day? People are watching All Out Action. They are watching AOR. They are watching NXTV. They are watching KXW. They are watching SWF. No one cares about the Briggs or any of the past accomplishments, any of those past television shows, nothing of the such. So that's the case in point. Yaki Najiu barely gets to be at number 50 because of his association with you, Justin. Sitting at the table with you weekly doing color commentary. He's finally gotten some, and he's done a few podcasts. So he keeps himself out there. You know, he's a likable guy. I mean, let's be honest.
All right, all right. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to try to, look at this from your perspective. And we are talking about over the past year.
You have to remember, and this is key, Justin. The fact that Yaki Najiu is a color commentator and does a good job. He's been approved. The people like him. Listen, I've even heard this. People like Yaki Najiu even more than you on color commentary. That's what the people are saying to me.
That's completely fine. I am there to, get the product over, get the wrestlers over, tell a story and to analyze, you know what I'm saying, and call what I see. Yaki is, the color guy. He is the color man. He's the Jesse Ventura to my Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? It don't matter. People gonna like Yaki. It's never been a pissing contest with me. As far as color commentary, people like Bob better than me. You know that whole story, Vince. But the whole thing about it is, It's not my job. You know, the people like who they like. You know, I like the fact that the people like something. You know.
I'm just telling you, it's not for you to go on a tirade. It's just fact. People like Yorkie better. Let's move on.
All right, here's something interesting to me. Now, based off of everything that you just now said, you got the 80s guy as at number 49. Explain yourself, Vince. The floor is yours.
Simple. The 80s guy, just like Yorkie, and would have been off the list, completely off the list. But I have to mind you that the 80s guy has main evented a very recent pay-per-view, Spring Break, or what was it? Summer Break, right?
Yeah, summer break. It was summer break this year. Spring break next year.
Whatever it was, he headlined, or he was a co-headline or something like that. He was a main attraction. People wanted to come out, and unlike Yorkie Najiu, he has been in the ring this year and last year. I know he had a match last year with Yorkie, but it was untelevised. No one knows about it except for certain people who were there. So, you know, that disqualifies a whole lot. Are you following me on this?
You know, whatever. Go ahead.
You see, this is what my mother warned me about this. She warned me that you would be standoffish.
I'm not being
That you
standoffish.
would not give me the chance. Justin, you are a part of the problem. You yourself,
how
sir.
am I a part of the problem? I'm
you sit there, you're
broadcasting.
self-righteous. You're always playing the victim. Need I bring up Neil? I'm not gonna even go there.
Yeah, you gonna
You
bring
get
up some more
Angie.
shit.
You're just like these other guys who I'm talking about that don't really have a forward, mindset. That's what XTV needs. Miss Martha was the only one, and that's because she was an outsider to come into XTV and see what was wrong with this situation. And ever since she's been kicked out of office, she got Terry Williams in there who has no idea what he's doing.
What the hell? You just pissed off because your mama ain't win last year.
Watch what you say about my mother. I will hang up on you.
Listen. It's getting out of hand. All right. Now, you're jumping all over the place, Vince. Okay. First, you're telling me that I ain't shit, and now your mom is going on. Just forget about it. All right. 80s guy, fine. He number 49. All right.
80s guy is number 49. Foxy Hot. All right.
You got Miss Foxy. All right. I mean, I'm starting to pick things up, but as we go up the list, we'll see. I mean, but just considering, who I see, at higher numbers, and who's on top.
Miss Foxy Hot, barely there, barely doing anything. She's had a few appearances here or there. She's sustaining her relationship with Jasmine. They're doing better. If they were able to cultivate, something that was tangible to the audience and present that, she, along with him, would be much higher. But because of the fact that, she's not really seen that much. I mean, let's be honest. She's washed. Ms. Intent said it on an interview. She's washed. She's been washed, and she's one of these people who was just hanging on, by a string just to, hold on to whatever, what kind of fame or whatever it is that she's caught up in, and she needs to let it go, or she needs to reinvent herself. Otherwise, people are going to stop caring about you, point blank period.
That's just a very mean thing to say,
It's
man.
the truth. It's the absolute truth. Let's move on. Number 47 here, Henry Hank. All right, another legend. Low ranking, but let's be honest. And I've talked to Hank. Hank doesn't really want to be there. You can look in the ring, look at it. He doesn't. It's not the Hank of old. He's slower. He's by God, he's strong as ever, but he's just not, the Hank of old. He's not the trash talking. He's just going through the motions, power bomb here, spear there, and then, it's so terrible because This guy should be able to motivate his son, Henry, a talented kid, a very witty individual. But what is he going out there doing? He's being Enzo Amore. I mean, it's complete garbage all the way around. And Hank, because of his son suffering, he suffers for it.
How the hell, how one thing, that's apples and oranges.
If you think about it, you know that it's true. Hank McCoy is not the same guy that we had from back in the day. He was a strong presence on the microphone. Every time we see him, he's in a throwaway match. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, well, Beast will give you a break, all right. But, ain't going to get into that. Ada Vickers is at number 46. You care to talk about that?
Of course, absolutely. Ada Vickers, I absolutely love. I love all these guys. Most of them, everyone who we've talked about. I mean, I'm friends with them. But Hank, and I've talked to Hank. He doesn't want to be there. He does not want to be there. He's only there to sustain whatever is left of XTV, and that's because all these old guys are still hanging around.
Well, I beg to differ. I mean, it ain't really that many, older people on the roster. Charles Dean just recently retired.
Look at the '80s guy. Look at Yorkie.
Yorkie retired. He done. If Yorkie ain't been in a match in like a whole year.
Same thing with Hank.
Yeah, well.
Exactly. He said it himself, and whoever it is in the front office has got him. He's doing it for them. He's doing it for the sake of whatever connection has got his ear. But I'm going to tell you, it's only going to make his career suffer more. The longer he's in these meaningless matches that don't mean anything, it's only going to just make him a jobber. Just like what almost happened to Yorkie Najiu if he did not use what he still does have left, and that's his mouthpiece.
All right, and you was talking about Ada
Vickers. Let's be honest. Look at the past 9 months. She was pregnant. She was with child. But the fact that Ada is able to come out and people, can gravitate to her in this day and age.
What you mean gravitate now? I mean, I'm the biggest Ada fan in the world, but I mean, what is she done?
It's what she's doing. You've seen it. She's got podcasts out the wazoo. She's got podcasts on the West Coast, on the East Coast, and being here in XTV, the CTFLWD, Can This Family Live Without Drama Play, is in play. Lots of things are coming out, so that still counts.
You sound like You sound like Julia. It all counts.
Listen, you got one more time to make fun of my mother, sir. I don't appreciate that.
Listen, I'm not making fun of her.
You are making fun of my mother, sir. And she is a sweet woman. She would never hurt us, so you have no right to do that.
Oh man, please let me up, Vince. Let me up.
All right, listen. Up next, Jazzmore, number 45. All right, everyone knows his podcast got canceled. He's in syndication now. There's other episodes, brand new episodes that are going to be coming out now, but he is no longer doing the podcast, but he's got so many back episodes that it can sustain him for a while. Like I said earlier, he's got the thing with Foxy. Need I say more? Jazzmore, he is where he is. He could afford to do a whole lot more. That's why he's, down in the lower 40s. I mean, listen, there are, hundreds or probably thousands of XTV stars. To make it on this list is saying that you are somebody or that you are still somebody. This is not a bad thing. People have to understand, to make this list, anybody just can't make. There's so many people, bro. I could run down the list of people who are not on this list, but we'd be here all day. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that I think that is a good point to point out. A lot of people did not make the list, And so, that is a different way of looking at it. Like I say, I'm trying to get into your mind.
You have to open up, bro. You have to think forward. You have to be a futurist in this. XTV was founded on future. When it was turned from Sarge to TXG, where are those minds at? Where are those thinkers, that are keeping things moving forward? What happened to you guys?
I mean, don't you think that NXTV is moving forward?
NXTV, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
We will talk about that, ladies and gentlemen. I got Venom on the line.
You're messing me all up here. You're messing my name up. Come on, get it right.
Venom is on the line, ladies and gentlemen. We got more when we come back. Stay tuned. I can't wait to hear this.
Mamma mia! Pizza Cake haven't chosen me to tell you about the new Corleone pizza. Soft white Italian dough, soaked in the finest Palermo tomato, all topped with 1 whole pound of Milano cheese. Then choose 5 toppings from the famous Pizza Cake 500. Mwah. And remember what Mama said, leave room for dessert at Pizza Cake.
Does your baby need anything?
I want something to eat.
You heard me, anything?
I'm hungry.
Doesn't Need Anything is a new Zaibatsu-developed baby food designed to satiate your baby's every need, because early entry into the Zaibatsu food program builds a better youth. DNA Food, shaping tomorrow's adults.
Your eyes are so beautiful.
I cannot let go of your hand.
May I stroke the nape of your neck
Oh, your hand caresses.
and the bosom thrusts?
Oh, yes.
These implants are not silky milky. Only silky milky implants by Zaibatsu feel and taste like the real thing. Zaibatsu, look for the label and stand for nothing less.
Back with Vince Venom, ladies and gentlemen, here on Justin's podcast, going over the top 50 superstars of the past year. The floor is yours, Vince. We left off on Jazz Mar at 45, and we got Pasadena at 44.
Pasadena, a brand new star. It's very unfortunate how bad they have treated her since bringing her in to XTV. If they were going to treat Pasadena the way that they've treated her, then they should have just completely just kiboshed the entire gimmick, or just forgot about the whole thing until they were ready, sort of like they did with Cassie Cage, which again, they missed the ball on that one. They dropped the ball with Cassie Cage all over.
What you mean they dropped the ball on Cassie? And what you mean about Pasadena? You have yet to see, let me tell you, you have yet to see what is, because I personally work with the both of them, especially Cassie Cage, okay? And you have yet to see what both of them have to offer. So don't even go there, because those two are very important names. But you just don't realize that it's still to come. It's still to come. We got ideas, okay? Sitting up there talking about you are not futurist. I am a futurist. I've spent countless hours my damn self going over shit with damn these people, and you're gonna see coming up. So how the hell she number damn 44?
Well, that's, again, and listen, I'm not saying this for you to get upset. Please calm down. All I'm saying is that she has been misused. She is so talented, and that, yeah, exactly. You have been working with her. You have been working with Cassie Cage, but she should have been brought in a whole lot sooner than she had been.
It's a slow burn.
Hold on, let me finish. And with Pasadena, she's lost more matches than she's won. She's only there to put other girls over.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, that's what she's doing right now.
By the time you try to make her a main event star, or if that's what you're thinking, or whatever, wherever,
it ain't me. It's the committee and the people who I've been talking to on the board. And listen, we work in the damn place, with all these different people, man.
You said that already, Justin. You're repeating yourself. You're getting beside yourself. All I'm saying is this. She could be a whole lot further along than she is. That's why she's on this low. That's why she's this low on the list. However, remember, she did make the list. And NXTV is a very new thing. I understand that. But at the same time, with a special talent like a Pasadena, she should be on a higher level. The reason that she is where she is over the names that she's over is clearly because she herself has went out and has marketed herself and has put herself in different situations whereby...
Who the hell you think gave her that opportunity? Who you think gave her the platform to do all of that? She ain't just do it by herself.
But listen, she has to sustain that. You guys can give her a platform, but she has to sustain herself, and that's what she's done. The downside to that is no one sees it. It goes unseen, which means that what is unseen, you know as well as I know, counts for nothing. So we can appreciate the effort, but at the same time, there you have it. Number 44, let's move on. Now, number 40, she's number 44. Number 43, we have Duke Zynda.
Duke Zynda, that's a surprising name to put at number 43.
I knew this would knock your socks off because of how innovative he has been when you consider and think about this. You've watched Duke Zynda move from 2K17 to 2K18 now. You've seen the changes. You've seen the transitions. You guys have just jobbed him out. He should have been signed a long time ago. All right? He should have been signed a long time ago as a top star.
Hold on. I got to cut you off there. You're saying all this stuff because, yeah, you done shook hands. You friends with these people and stuff like that. But you don't realize that everybody has to have a place. We did not job out Duke Zynda. Duke Zynda is a top player. Every time you've seen him on Proving Grounds,
he should not be there. Just
listen to this. Every time you've seen Duke Zynda on Proving Grounds, he's main eventing.
Losing.
He main eventing.
Losing. He's always losing. He's always jobbing out to one of your guys in order to get them over. I saw him, the last time I saw him on NXTV, he was jobbing out to your son, Justin. And that was like, months ago, but still, he's jobbing out to your son.
Well, you saying it, I know Justin Jr. is my son and all, but you saying it like I booked the damn match, like, yeah, okay, Duke, you got to lose. Look, I'm just saying that, everybody got a place. Duke Zynda is always in a high-profile situation. He is looked at in high regard, and we got him in those high-profile matches on Proving Ground, so that by the time, he make his way to NXTV, he'll be a name, so,
Look, he's there. I can't really consider him in a particular league because he's in GPW. He's in SWF. He's in several divisions. He's in his international store. He's got a lovely wife, Dawn Core, of course, who I met at the ball last week. They're wonderful people.
I know they're wonderful people. Yeah. So you ain't telling me shit.
Justin, you're getting upset. You're getting beside yourself. All right? There you have it. Duke Zynda, number 43.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Number 42, Jackie Briggs.
Okay.
Jackie Briggs came in with a head of steam. Was going head to head with the killer. Going head to head, mixing it up in the XTV realm before she came into NXTV. Did the movie, she had the heavyweight championship, Then she lost momentum. I don't know, somewhere in, it was the railing thing. She let that get to her. She should have never let that get to her. If she did.
Well, see, boom, pause, hold on. You can't say. No. First of all, let me ask you the question of how do you feel like she let that get to her?
Because, like I said, plenty of momentum. rolling thunder through the women's division. Top contender, top women's champion. Forget about it, Jackie. The face of the company, practically. And then when she lost to Raylan, it was pretty much over. I mean, there was you didn't hear from her. It was done. And then when you brought her back, she didn't have the same momentum. She's not the same Jackie Z. She needs to get that fire back in order to be ranked higher. Another person, a lot like Pasadena, who I personally feel should be ranked at a higher spot, but this is what we came up with. This is what we agreed with. We fought very hard over her, considering what she's done. However, she's got to be here. 42. That's considering how new she is. Like, look, Jackie Briggs, I love you. You made the list. Jax, don't kick my ass. All right, let's move on. Number 41. You won't believe this one, Justin. Ashley Knight.
Ashley Knight.
Ashley Knight, the AOR, the former AOR champion. See, this girl came in.
See, hold on now. Hold on. Time out. Pause. I want to motherfucking know, how in the hell can Ashley Knight, this newcomer, rookie, come in and just trump all these legends?
Because all those legends don't matter. We're talking about now. We're talking about present day. AOR has made such a great presence, and your partner, J&W Boss, he has created and cultivated this program. He's got a whole new look, a whole new identity under the AOA umbrella, and has managed to, get these stars just as over, if not more so, than the AOA main superstars. That's a nod to him, and that's a nod to his partner, J-Dog. Both of them have caused this show to be able to stand next to face-to-face with AOA programming, and that's where Ashley Knight comes into play. You love her. You see her every week. She was like I said, former AOR champion, but she has captured the imaginations of many.
We're talking about last year till right now. Listen, I like Ashley Knight. Okay, I'm a fan. It's just surprising. I mean, I would probably switch her with Yaki.
Why would you put her at the bottom? She comes in, she's a star.
Yeah, but she ain't got the time though.
It doesn't matter. This isn't about time. This is about impact. This is about what you are doing now. This is about where you are, and more so about the future, more so about the potential of where you stand in our eyes from our observation.
All right, let's just move on. Number 40, Corey Jordan.
The XTV Westside Commissioner, Corey Jordan. I love him. Can't say enough about him. He's been on so many podcasts. Again, a great speaker, great ambassador for the West Side. He's got a wonderful story. He's out here. That's why he is where he is. He's the commissioner. I wouldn't say he's been the best commissioner. He hasn't really been somebody who's made a very substantial presence. But at the same time, he is a man of the people, and the people love him, and he does his job. He makes certain calls, and what I like about his commissionership is that he puts other people in place to do the dirty work that he doesn't feel like. I mean, the guy's 600 pounds. He's 8 feet 9 or whatever it is. I mean, he's huge. So he's got people in the right places, and a lot of people probably don't, know who he is. But, again, this is XTV under the XTV realm. I want to make that perfectly clear.
All right. Corey Jordan at number 40. And at number 39, we got Kevon. Interesting.
Not a bad number. Kevon has always been a fan favorite. And, if you ask me career-wise, he's always sort of hovered in this sort of area when it comes to the grand scale of, top guys, in XTV. But, of course, again, this year, we're looking at a different scale. We're looking at a different breed of guys. It's actually expanded as it continues to expand.
Yeah, you say stuff like that, but you try to sit up there and say, that people in XTV ain't futurists and we don't think about the future and all that, but yet you see it expanding. I mean, to me, that's pretty contradictory, don't you think, Vince?
I don't think that it's contradictory, because what is happening now is a result of what Miss Martha had already started. It's only a matter of time before Terry Williams messed that up.
Terry Williams ain't gonna mess up nothing. Terry Williams done brought in so many new acts.
I understand that Terry's your friend. Listen, we love Terry. I would, last year, or was it the year before last, whatever it was, I would sit at the same desk. Terry would have these same discussions with myself and my mother, Barbara, the entire staff. Do you understand? So, listen, this is not a knock to anybody on the roster. We don't have a problem with you guys. We're just saying from our observation, this is what we see. I thought we went over this, Justin.
Go on.
All right, so this is not for you guys to get upset. Listen, we've broke 30 now, okay? So we're coming up, and so we're starting to see a bit more of a higher caliber of a star in our eyes, okay? Kevon, look at what he's done. He's got a name for himself. He's been on the different programs. He even made it, and here's a big one, because his name was chosen to be a part of the Worlds Collide. That is perhaps over the past year that's one of because there's been a few of them. Let's be honest. XTV had a big summer this year. You guys had a lot of programming. Props to you guys for working with what you do have. So that is all in consideration. And as far as Kevon, for him to be picked on that show, that shows that he is somebody who the higher ups have an eye on. Does that make sense?
It do make sense. I don't think that's a bad number for Kevon. I actually agree with that one. One that I don't agree with is up next, Yosi at number 38. I just I don't get that shit. I mean, Yosi is one of the top stars. You want to sit up there and talk about from then till now? Yosi headlined. She headlined damn XTV 03. She headlined at two other situations with Nicki Minaj. Yosi has been a huge star. People have, not only that, but Yosi has also been in very, very high demand. And she's been very active. I don't see this shit.
You're getting upset again, and that's because, again, Yosi is your friend. But take a step back. Think about things before you let your emotions allow you to react.
He trying to tell me, y'all.
Think, Justin, before you allow your emotions to react. Now, Yosi, very true. She has been in, prime situations here to there from time to time. Not consistently, though. Also.
Not consistently. How consistent? Go ahead.
Also, although all those times that she lost to Nicki Minaj, who I mind you was a celebrity guest, but all those times that she lost, that she was in a match, she lost. She lost each and every one of those times, including a fourth time recently in some tournament or something that you guys had. So, I mean, Yosi, again, hang it up, sweetheart. I love you to death, but you're falling off. It breaks my heart to watch you just, fall apart match after match, trying to go through the motions and do your old tricks. It's not working, babe.
Yeah, I completely disagree with that. I think that all look. What about that match that she had with Jordan Strong at XTVO2?
That was to put her over. That was more like, a squash match.
You calling Jordan a squash? I'm talking like your ass. You calling Jordan a squash?
Listen, Justin, you're getting excited here. You're getting way too excited here. Listen, Yosi, listen, one of the greatest characters ever. Probably the greatest character ever. Okay, she's one of my favorites. All right, top 5 anywhere in the world. However, as far as her last year, she's taken more L's than she's taken wins, and that affects her tremendously. It doesn't always matter that you are there, but that you show up and win, Justin. And who came out shining more brighter than ever? Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, that's good, so that we can, do further business and and things of that nature.
Well, good for you then. And by the way, Nicki didn't make the list either. So, there you have it.
She better not. And I love Nicki, but man, because if you put her over Yosi just because she beat her.
Well, Nicki's only fought 8 matches. She's a special attraction. She's not really, that type of a deal. 37, Chloe Sharp.
There you go.
Chloe Sharp has been, again, along with Ashley Knight, shot to the moon. I think Chloe a little bit better. She's a little bit better on the mic. She has a little bit more of a presence. And, of course, she's the women's champion now. To me, and, we've discussed this, when assuming to bring in AOR stars and the outsider stars or the outside companies, these two are right now the main attraction for that show. And so, you can't mention, we felt like you can't have a list without putting them on it, without acknowledging AOR as a top brand. That's how they got figured in. They have to be there because they do have a presence, and their presence is, these girls right here, Ashley Knight and Chloe Sharp. Thus far, I know they only are, it's in 2 or 3 or 4 episodes. I think they're working on episode 4 now. So, within this small amount of time, this is what we've seen. But with this being the main thing and everything that's built around it, you have to admit that this is it's the bread and butter right now.
Yeah. It's a point that could be argued, but okay, now let's take a pause, and so I don't know, guys. Never mind. We're gonna take a pause. We're gonna keep it going. I'm interested in in what people think about this. Chloe Sharp over people like Pasadena, over people like Miss Foxy, even
over the last year. How could you disagree with this? This. You're lashing out at me.
When did I lash out?
You lashed out earlier. You're lashing out at me over something that a collective group went over. You have to remember that. These aren't just my thoughts. I just have sat back. We've all sat back, and this is what we agreed with. Trust me, we've went through and through with this list. We've been over this for months. Tell your audience how many months ago you were supposed to have me. Tell them how many months ago.
Yeah. We've been trying to plan this, but I didn't know that you was gonna bring a list.
What did you think? That's what we do. We're from the Observer. We observe. Okay. All right. So there you have it. 36. I'm gonna try to speed this along. 36. We have DT. Listen. XTV guy, probably started in around about 2009. You have to respect what DT has done from then until now. And he's coming up on 10 years. and he's still in the picture. No one expected him to be where he is.
That don't make sense. That don't make sense. DT would have to be somebody that's probably not even on the list, if you ask me.
You're not being fair to him. You're wishy-washy with DT. Sometimes you're on his team. When he's losing, you're on his team. And when he's winning, you're not on his team anymore. I don't understand you. DT deserves to be on this list because you know as well as I know, as much as you probably don't want to admit it, DT is a star in XTV.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought we was talking about a grand scale, and what did he do?
He's one of those main guys. That's how he got. He's probably and you know, with that bit, he's a lot like Corey Jordan. You know, to be more specific, he's a main guy who has not yet made a per se television presence. You would have to, you would be hard pressed to find something with DT on it currently. But that's all going to change. A lot like with Ada, these stores, and I just want everyone to remember these names. Remember this. Remember this day. Remember this podcast. And over the next, I don't even know, several months, just you watch and see. Because we're saying that these stores, that this is where they are, and this is their potential. And just see where they are from that point. These stores that we're naming, a lot of these stores are going to be higher up next year. Okay, a lot of these guys are moving upwards. We didn't mention that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You didn't mention that, and but that is a thing that that Julia had that was unique to the last list, was that she was saying arrow going downwards. I like her accent. I think it's nice.
Watch it, buddy. All right. Above DT number 35, we have Dixie. Now, Dixie, interesting character, had the brawl, had the feud with Tia Ray. It was hot at the time. So, of course, that definitely raises her stakes. That definitely raises that brings awareness to her, and that's what a whole lot of this sort of boils down to, with certain exceptions, because people like DT, people like the Commissioner, Corey Jordan, people like Ada, and a whole lot of the West Coast guys per se don't really get the exposure that the East Coast guys get. That's why the East Coast guys, that's why you see more of them. That's what I was saying at the beginning. Do you understand? I mean, and a person like Dixie, who is absolutely a fine competitor, one of the best talkers of all time, just devastating in the ring. A future Hall of Famer is what I'm saying. With her stature and what she's done, being able to maintain and cultivate that, even though she lost.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Even though she lost to Tia Ray, she's still Dixie. And it would be wrong to not put her on the list.
Yeah, see, you're right. It would be wrong to not put her on the list, but I mean, she could afford to, probably be traded, or probably be a little bit lower. I'm sorry, man. I mean, and look, I love Dixie. That's not a knock to her, but it's just according to your rules, according to your credentials, what you said. I don't see how the hell Dixie is up over Yossi, per se. How you put Dixie higher than Yossi?
How the feud. Do you remember how hard that feud was with Tia Ray? And Tia Ray is up high on the list. I don't remember what number she is. I'm going in order. But she's up high on the list because, I mean, of all the accolades, and Dixie helped make her. Dixie needs, more steam behind her, and she would be high on the list. She needs to be out more. But, in all the times, that she's been on XTV, she's been formidable. You forget her and Shannon. Dixie made Shannon. You know, let's be honest.
See,
You know,
Shannon did all that stuff on her own. Shannon is doing her own thing on NXTV, and she ain't got no help. You know, I got to be honest.
yeah,
I can't
but
let
she
you.
would not have had the chance to do that, Justin, if Dixie did not give her the go-ahead. If Dixie did not put her over with the boys. You have to. Everyone knows if you can't get over with the boys, you can't get over. Period. They're gonna eat you alive.
But that's the whole point in NXTV and what it was made for.
I understand that, but at the same time, you know, Shannon was a unique situation. She's already born into XTV. She's born into a family full of characters. Sally Troffer, Hank, Alec Troffer, Dixie. The list goes on and on. James, Brandy, you know, forget about it. But the whole fact of the matter is that, you know, with that pedigree, she's gonna have to. She has to get the okay from everybody. And you remember, I think they have it recorded. You were in the room, and the first time Shannon was introduced, I think it was on Alex's podcast. The first time she ever appeared, they laughed and like they just completely embarrassed her. She didn't want to talk. Of course, if she didn't have NXTV, then, you know, she wouldn't have the opportunity. But at the same time, I mean, I'm losing my mind. I lost my train of thought here. But I'm glad you mentioned, you know, Shannon, because she's not that much higher than Dixie. Because Dixie is the one, that's what I was saying, that Dixie is the one that put her where she is. And that's why Dixie gets the credit of being, you know, at this spot on the list. You know, I mean, 36, that's not a bad number for her. Because, I mean, she's a top guy.
All right, so
or top girl, or
she's
whatever.
35, and then let's not skip over Bill Hunter, who's number 34.
Bill Hunter is as old school as it gets, and I fought tooth and nail on this because I felt like Bill Hunter probably shouldn't be on that spot. I thought that what's the guy's name who I fought for? I kept calling him old Joe.
You talking about Dalvin?
That guy, perfect. If we could get that guy on screen, I swear your subscribers would go through the roof. Give that guy his own show. I guarantee it, Dalvin. He tells it like it is. He should be on this list. He's not on the list, guys. Dalvin, I'm sorry. You're not on the list. But Dalvin should be on this list, and I would put him in place of Bill Hunter because of the fact that Bill Hunter has not really been, you know, in much of a prominent role. But then again, you know, you could say that he's got his thing with RJ, you know, it works. He's got the Boston market gimmick. He's a drunk. He talks trash, but, you know, I mean, he's sort of simmered down since last year, but he's still, you know, one of those guys in our opinion. But, you know, if you asked me, like I said, I would put Dalvin here because to me he just has more of a presence here in XTV. But listen to this. Shannon at number 33. All right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you talked about it a little bit earlier on, Shannon being at number 33. How'd you guys figure that?
Shannon is at number 33 because of the fact, you know, that, you know, hey, listen, she's done well for herself. She's done okay. You know, I mean, we're starting to climb up the ladder here, and, you know, she could be a little bit higher, but she's known. People know who she is. She does all right. She's got the whole everything. She's got the pedigree. She's got the moves. She's got the mouthpiece. You know, she's a perfect heel. So, I mean, time will tell with her. She's just going to have to make people care more. That's what her issue is. She's got to make people care about her storylines and what she's involved with. Otherwise, she's going to go down, down, down but I see her going upwards. Here's a person that has an arrow pointing upwards. I think that the sky's the limit with Shannon.
Yeah, so do I. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all hear a noise. My phone keep on going off. That's what I'm recording this on. I apologize if there's any interruption now. At number 32, we got Romy Rome.
2 rings. Your friend and mine. Great host. The 2GN News Network is on fire. I mean, a big deal in XTV. Here's the thing, Justin. And here's something that I wish I would have pointed out earlier. And I already know what you're going to say. You're going to call us biased because of this statement. But the East Coast guys are held at a higher regard than the West Coast guys. That's why you're seeing also the placement of a lot of these West Coast guys, because these guys are doing things in XTV that has to be acknowledged. Okay, it's just like with the AOR girls. That's a prominent thing that's happening under this whole realm. Because AOA and XTV, and all these other guys, we're partners, in a sense. You know what I mean? So that would have to count. You would have to put all of this under the same umbrella when you're figuring these things out. And that's why you see people like Bill Hunter and Dixie and Ada, etc., etc. But that's why Romy Rome would fall like sort of in that category, because yes, he is known, he does have the show, but we don't feel like he stands on the level as a whole lot of the higher guys. He's kind of just hovering. He's kind of just there in the middle. And I think for him, I think that that's good for him, because he's not a wrestler. He's not a over-the-top character that's going to draw. He's just there to get other guys over, a lot like you are. But, so there you have that. I know that, a lot of people are going to probably argue with that. With Romy being where he is, I actually did have him a little higher, but considering, all factors, you understand, right?
I'm over it, man. I'm tired of fussing.
You're getting upset again. All right, let's move on. All right, 31, Manuel. We're starting to get into like where the rubber meets the road here, because Manuel, although he is not a huge star in NXTV, because he's misused like beyond what I know to explain. But at the same time, Manuel did make that top 8 list. I don't know if you watched it, but there was a top 8 list that was done by AOA.
Of course I watched it.
There was I'm just saying, there was a top list. And those guys who made that list, and along with guys who may have been on the AOA and NXTV juncture together, those types of things make you a bigger star or have a higher number. It gives you more power because you're reaching an extended audience. Does that make sense? And that plays a key factor in all of this, because it's all about the audience, all right. So that's why where are we here? I lost myself. You're talking about Manuel. Oh, okay, Manuel, yeah. So that's why he is where he is. He's again, behind the scenes. He's doing a lot of things in XTV. He's here, he's there, and the fact that he made that list being misused the way he's been means that what was his original intent, that was still working, because he was, a man of the people. The people were behind Manuel. He's the underdog, and, people get it. That has not been portrayed the right way on NXTV. However, a lot like Pasadena, he himself has went out and has shook hands, and made friends and kissed babies and whatever the case may be. He himself is getting himself over one fan at a time. So congratulations to him. I think that Manuel should be very proud of his spot here on this list.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad spot for Manuel, to be honest. Because, I mean, and it's just interesting because, I think a lot of people would argue that. And I think the reason that people would argue, I mean, because it's again, Vince, you and I know these people. You know what I mean? Like, we know them personally, and we know their struggles and all these different things like that. We know, how strong they are as a character. And that's what makes this whole thing debatable,
Exactly. It makes it debatable. It creates a discussion. And so it's not for you to get upset. You're setting the wrong tone here, Justin.
I apologize.
I've been fishing dolphin in these waters all my life. Summer and winter, rain and shine. And every little tuna I've caught goes straight back into the big blue yonder.
Flipper Dolphin is widely available in most stores.
Cold, hard chocolate.
Surge after surge of creamy caramel.
Melts in your mouth.
And in your hand.
Orgasmo bars of forbidden chocolate sensation, which lets you
Bite off more than you can chew.
Ah, that's better. How are you feeling? Not very happy? Stress and strain of everyday life grinding you down? Chini is a new herbal medication from Krishna Medicine designed to alleviate everyday life. Easing conversion to Krishna ways, Genie can fulfill your lifetime wishes for peace and unconditional love straight from a bottle. Genie, why have 3 wishes when you only need 1?
Hey bros, it's Millennium here with another New Millennium podcast, and this week my boy Alec Trawford comes through and he actually bails me out. It's a great episode. He's talking about more Sable stories. We know that you love those from the Trawfords, and he's talking about some of his favorite podcasts, a lot of his great moments, and really just shooting the breeze together and sharing some stories back and forth. It's really a fun time talking with Alec Trawford. He's always a load of laughs, a load of fun, and of course he Ric Flair Trawford, bro. So definitely make sure that you come by XTV East Coast, and next time you see that New Millennium podcast pop up, make sure you stop on by and hit that play button, bro. Check us out. Justin's podcast.
All right, number 30. Look at this. Tyrone the Shooter Andre. Look at this guy. I was there the day that they made him, and I said that guy is going to be a main eventer. You just watch. That guy is a guy that you guys are going to build this brand around. I guarantee it. And what happened? All this time down the line, he's found himself on the list because he's found himself on another list. Again, the top 8 in AOA. I think he was a higher formidable number. That counts here. Tyrone Andre, the solid assassin, has gotten himself over. Of course, with the help of Corman, but it's been all Tyrone. He's done his job. He's gone out there and he has exceeded expectation in his matches. People thought that he was just one-dimensional. You're starting to see more of his personality out there. And, I think that they've got real big plans for the shooter. And, he could tell a great story. And he's doing it all on his own. So, Tyrone's right there. All right, let's move this along. Number 29. Justin Jr. Justin, it's an interesting dichotomy between he and Tyrone Andre, because I feel like Justin, and he's got his arrows pointing downwards. Justin, in my opinion, you know he's your son. He's right there with you. He could be doing so much better. He's been misused. He should have been in the NWN a long time ago. He's a great mouthpiece.
He didn't want to be in the NWN.
Well, somebody should have put him there anyways. He's a kid. He's a rookie. These kids don't know what they want. They don't know what's good for them. You know what's good, what's better for them.
Apparently not, because I ain't a futurist.
Listen, I told you, it's not for you to take personal. It's just constructive criticism, Justin.
Yeah, okay. Justin being at number 29 is sort of understandable. He underbooked, but I mean, look, and I've talked about this with several people. I mean, what can you do with a 5-match card? It's only so much that could be done, in that scenario. So that's my argument with why Justin Jr. is on the book.
Whatever the case is, Justin, this is what you have to understand. Whatever the case is, why these guys are in bad storylines or underbooked or misused, it's the company's fault, but it also comes down to them. And Justin, being the mouthpiece that he is, being the personality that he is, I would expect him to be more like his father and show that more. And people, ought to see that in spite of the fact that he's not on, NXT or what have you every single week. That should not be, a factor that holds him back. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, I gotta be honest and tell you that is a good ass point. Justin, get off your ass and make some of yourself. All right, I want to speed this up a little bit now. I'm just gonna read number 28 through 25. Now at 28 is RJ. 27 is Terry Williams. 26 is Johnny Rivers, and 25 is Lil Trunks. Talk about that.
All right, so RJ's growing up. He turned 13 this year. He's back talking DT, and he's found his niche. He's realized that goody kid, all that stuff, it only gets you so far here. And he's woke up and he smelled the coffee. He's getting back in DT's face. He's fighting back. He's entertaining. He always has been, but now he's got it. He's at a prominent age. He's, using curse words and slang and all that. That's what he has to do.
He a 13-year-old. I mean, come on, man. We got kids watching. He could be a role model or something.
Listen, there are no role models in XTV. That should be your headline. There are no role models in XTV. Point blank, period. And RJ, is a great star. He's going upwards. He really, to me, he doesn't really need the TV, but it wouldn't hurt, another Monkey Belly run or something like that, something unique for RJ. I'm not, the Monkey Belly, that might not be the answer, but still, something for RJ that's tangible again. He should be out there. People should know who he is. Terry Williams, number 27. Listen, there it is right there. We don't have a problem with Terry Williams. He's in the 20s. Terry Williams, he's done a phenomenal job as the NXTV commissioner, and he's gotten himself over from way back when he was a nobody, and that's big. So looking at the year 2018, remember, like I said, we're talking about today from last year. I mean, who's had a bigger year than Terry Williams? So there's that. Number 26, Johnny Rivers, of course, and a guy who's not getting a fair shake. I mean, we've seen him on live events here in XTV. He hasn't been put on TV because, they're not trying to interfere with, what's going on with AOA, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Worlds Collide has to be special, so you can't just keep on putting people, from that company over here. It's like maybe when you lead up.
I don't see why not. Why not throughout the year? certain guys from NXTV show up over there and their guys show up here to mix it up. Why not? You guys are going to be trading these guys back and forth anyway.
That has not been confirmed or denied, Vince. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Listen, I'm just saying, you guys have to innovate. There is no reason that Johnny Rivers should not be in a match, and probably with Jay Morgan on an NXTV show.
For what though? We did that already. We had Jay Morgan versus Austin Wallace.
It should happen more often. Listen, let's move on. All right, you want to do 5 at a time?
Yeah, let's go over the next 5. Oh no, you skipped over Lil Trunks. Lil Trunks is at number 25.
All right, Lil Trunks, number 25, has done a great job. Again, the West Side guys are at a different standard, but again, he is a younger star, a newer star, and again, has the exposure. You've put him on XTV East Meets West. Those are two. That's a very popular show. He's been on there a few times. He's gotten his personality out there. We know what type of guy he is. The apple didn't fall too far from the tree with him. So, need I say more about Little Trunks? Where are we? Number 24, Big Trunks D-Matic. Big Trunks, we have to mention him. Because he's a XTV legend. He's been here for so many years. He's done countless things in XTV, countless podcasts that talk about his illustrious career. But like I said, we're talking about last year to now, and you yourself, Justin, I know you've mentioned his name so many times on the podcast. Just to get him over. I know you did it on purpose, and all the things that you guys done here, in XTV with you and him, going face to face, head to head. So,
I do what I can.
I'm not faulting you. That's not a knock or anything like that. I think it's good. You're helping your friends. That's good. And then of course, again, on East Meets West, in Lil Trunks' corner. Need I say more? Trunks and the one-liners is going to go down in infamy. Everything he says is a one-liner. All right? At number 23, 23 is interesting. We got Gorgon and J.J. Strong. And the reason we put them together, and you're going to probably see that, I think you see that a little bit later on, but you got at number 23, J.J. Strong and Gorgon. They're the voices of NXTV, the flagship show of XTV. Am I wrong? I mean, you've gotten so quiet. You're not talking to me over there. I feel like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, it's just, man, I'm interested in hearing, how you break all this down, Vince. I'm letting you talk because the more I look into it and the more I hear you, the more I start to kind of, I'm trying to grasp what you
What are you having a hard time understanding? What don't you get?
You see, this whole thing with the East Coast being at a different standard, and I just don't think that you guys' logic and you guys' reasoning is really all that fair. Especially putting somebody like, Johnny Rivers over Romy Rome. I mean, come on, man. Romy Rome been doing 2GN News all this time. For a long ass time. It's been a top show, and it's even outdone my show. It's been weeks that Romy beat me. As far as, or it's been months where people was like, hey man, Romy's got the top show on the East Coast, and again, I'm fine with it, but I'm saying, that should mean something. That should be figured in. And you got, Johnny Rivers over him and RJ, Tyrone Andre, Johnny Rivers. Listen, I'm a Johnny Rivers fan, but you got him at number 26. I don't understand. I mean, even just amongst AOA people, Johnny Rivers ain't number 26.
That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. You must not know, and it's a shame. I can't believe that you would say something like that, Justin. That those words would utter out of your mouth about Johnny Rivers. Knowing what you know. And let me factor in this too. Johnny Rivers is where he is because he's not just a popular guy here in XTV or in AOA, but the world around. One of the most downloaded characters in the entire roster, Justin. Okay? That counts. That is figured in. You're looking at it from a very, very biased standpoint because Romy Rome is your friend. And that's why you have a problem with Johnny Rivers being there.
It ain't that I got a problem.
You just said that he shouldn't be where he is, that Romy Rome has got all these different episodes. Big whoop. How many downloads does Romy Rome have?
You just said it yourself, Romy Rome ain't that kind of competitor.
Listen, compare apples to apples. Put Romy Rome on the download today. How many is he going to get? 0.
Yeah, but I mean, how is that the be-all, end-all when we're talking about Johnny Rivers' position? I mean, you know, a lot of our fans didn't even know about Johnny Rivers until we seen him on AOA. And when we see him on AOA, yeah, he having great matches. They classic matches. You know, some of the best matches that ever taken place. But as a guy,
you're looking at it all wrong. You're just looking at it from
we talking about the XTV and the AOA umbrella.
Exactly. And under that umbrella, as an outside competitor from another league, he has got a fan following. That holds weight. We're talking about, remember what I said, eyes watching, viewers, downloads, numbers, they don't lie. It all counts.
There you go. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take one more break, and we're going to wrap up this top 20 list. Venom is sitting with me. Man, I ain't expected us to go this long, Vince, but
it's 50 names. What do you expect?
All right, one more break, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Oh, God.
We're here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 50 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Parts, better prices every day.
Over the past 50 years, the way America travels has changed. A lot. But through all that time and all those many changes, there's been the same place to find a comfortable night's rest. Motel 6. Always there with the lowest price of any national chain, so you save more for what you travel for. So no matter how much the journey changes, you'll know there's a light on at the end of it. Motel 6, 50 years, and the light's still on.
All right, you're with me here. We're back, right?
Yeah, we back. We back, ladies and gentlemen. More Justin podcast. We in the 20s here, and we left off with Gorgon and J.J. Strong.
The voices of NXTV. I mean, you know, do you agree with that? Do you understand, you know, that viewpoint of the fact that, you know, the brand cannot get over? Listen, Proving Grounds did not get its name until it had a voice behind it.
I disagree with that too. Proving Grounds was getting, you know, ain't getting much different numbers. You know, people would come in.
There was no buzz about it. You know, I mean,
it was a buzz in XTV. You got to remember that we talking about under the XTV umbrella. That's how these names. That's why you saying, and you saying a lot of continuation of what was already happening. Mr. Power, you know, the other girl, Moon Sugar. You know, they got signed from Proving Grounds. You know, stories just continue from back then. The Jessica B, not Jessica, but Bob Classic. He interfered with Jessica and them sister. And that was a part of the court case.
That's besides the point. The bottom line is the reason that these men are where they are is because they help get over this show. And they are the main thing that people talk about. The announcing is a key factor in this show. We're going to move on from that. Number 22, Jackie Z. Okay? One of the top feuds on NXT, one of the main stars, one of the main draws to the entire show. That's where she is. All right?
See,
Justin,
go ahead, man.
I'm interested in hearing your comments. What do you have to say about that? Because here's the thing. Again, I know that you don't like Jackie Z. I know that a lot of people don't like her. But at the same time, you're not supposed to. And if you look at the work that she has done, if you study, if you just take yourself out of, however you feel about her, and if you look at her moves, watch the match with her and she was teaming with Johnny Money and Ryu, right? They go up against Taurus and Aaron. Just watch the things that she does. She's a perfect manager, for anybody that she's out there with. She makes herself a presence. Jackie Z has only been in like 2 or 3 matches ever on NXT, but she has a presence. That's what's important. That's why she has this spot here on the roster. She's not in the top 10 or anything like that, but I mean, we would be remiss if we put her any lower because of the presence that she has on the screen, the things that she does, the psychology. That's what she brings to the table, and that's what keeps viewers engaged in whatever it is that she's doing. If people didn't care, we would know about it. But clearly, I mean, since the beginning, she's been causing controversy. She's been out there with Kevon. She's been out there with Killer. Every situation that she's been in, the fans have cared about, even to this day.
Man, Jackie Z is at number 22, ladies and gentlemen. At 21 is A2J, and I assume that you're gonna say that the same thing about Johnny Rivers. But what's interesting to me is how is A2J higher than, like, that much higher than Johnny Rivers? I mean, with Johnny Rivers being at number 26, A2J is at number 21. Very interesting to me.
Okay, here's an idea. Okay, take the list that I sent you. All right, did you get it?
I got a message coming in right now.
Listen, I'm sending you the top 50. All right, remember to do this. Put the description in. Put this list in the description when you upload it. All right. When you do that, so that the fans can follow along and they can listen to your logic compared to my logic, because I know it's sort of hard to follow along if you don't have it in front of you like us. So let the fans have it in front of them. All right. So here's the deal. All right. A2J has, it's almost, kind of going back to your point that A2J, yes, he is a big star in AOA. He's had great matches with Johnny Rivers. Lord knows the classics that they have had. But we feel like he is just a little bit more over than Johnny Rivers, considering his story. He had the mask on. He was gone for a long time. He came back, and he just got right back into the swing of things as if he never left. Johnny Rivers, in between all that same time, according to your logic, Justin, in that same time, I mean, what do you remember besides the things that he's done with A2J? He has not been as formidable. That's why you see A2J at such a bit higher number, and he's not way over. And of course, the downloads play a role. They play a factor. He is a very important piece to that entire puzzle. Need I say more? You're gonna like this one.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Rujon Jolly. Again, a high download. She's up in like the 500s, 600s or something like that. She's very close to getting us to the next tier in regards to status on the PlayStation or whatever the thing is, the downloads or whatever. But Rouge Anjali, huge store. Again, has what, like 100 or some Twitter followers or whatever. She should be more active. She's not as active as Pasadena. Pasadena's out there doing the work, but the reason that Rouge doesn't have to do the work is because people come to her. People want to see her. Everyone's asking about Rouge. I even heard on another show that they were like, we want Rouge on our show. Listen, she's out there. She's international. She's doing exactly what she was supposed to do. The whole thing, why she isn't higher on the list, and she could be, but she isn't because she's supposed to not bring just those eyes to her. She has to also bring those eyes to the company, and she has failed in doing that. But with that being said, she is a star. She is bright. There's a buzz about her. Let's move on. All right, 19. You should love this. Miss Martha.
My wife, that's right.
All right, you like that? Miss Martha, number 19. I mean, forget about it. And look, she's up higher than Terry Williams. Why? Because, I think that, up to this point, well, maybe not up to this point, but still, she's been a beloved character. I mean, how can you not have Miss Martha on this list?
I ain't gonna say nothing.
No, see, you don't want to get in trouble. You're afraid that she might say something, or that you might say something to put your foot in your mouth. You're afraid to say something. I don't understand why, because all you did was bury her from the get-go.
That was a work. I was doing that to help her.
Listen, you don't joke about your wife's weight and say that.
I'm fat too.
You can't do that. You can't. All right, Miss Martha, I know you have a problem with her being there, but that's where she is. You have no idea the magnitude of how over Miss Martha is. You have no idea. Everything that she touches, anytime she comes around anywhere, she's going to get the numbers. She's going to get the cheers. Forget about it. And, we almost, she's almost over you. If you didn't have this show right here, Miss Martha would blow you out the water. You're lucky for your show. All right, let's move on. Number 18, Destry Tarlton. Listen, the Tarltons, I love them. Absolute stars. Destry has the arrow pointing downwards. Would have been a higher name. Probably should be in the top 10, but not necessarily, because of the fact that he got the injury, and he just really hasn't picked up the momentum since he lost the championship, which is a rabbit hole that lots of guys, we talked about Jackie Briggs, lots of people, they fall down that rabbit hole, when they lose that championship. People, they don't know how to find themselves. They don't know how to bounce back. They think it's all about the championship. They win the gold. The boyhood dream comes true, and then once they lost it, they don't know what to do with themselves. So, unfortunately, Destry Tarlton has found himself in that situation. Was a great champion, top star in AOA by all means. You have to mention him. And so, there he is at number 18.
How is Destry over, according to your logic, I don't understand how Destry Tarlton, would even be over a A2J or a Johnny Rivers. Because he don't have the downloads. So how you justify that? If the downloads and the eyes watching means so much, again, call his ass, y'all. If that means so much, then how is it that Destry is over A2J in them?
The eyes watching AOA, they are not watching AOA for A2J. A2J and Johnny Rivers bring value to that brand. But, again, it's people like Destry Tarlton who are the main draw. Now it's Darren Tarlton, so we'll get into him. He's up high on the list. He's on the list. Darren Tarlton is here, but Destry, and that's why he's moving down. I mean, if you look at these guys, aren't far off from each other, Justin. You're saying it like Destry is way up higher than A2J. He's just up slightly higher than him at 18, and A2J is there at number 21. I mean, pay attention to how this is happening here. If A2J was a bigger star, in AOA, then that would matter. No, you skipping over the fact that 1,000 or however many people is following A2J. That's supposed to be like, oh man, look at him. I'm scared of you. But I don't think that Destry, got all those downloads. He probably up, in the 20s or something like that. Not in the thousands. Just being honest. Because the downloads are not the be-all, end-all. You heard me say the numbers. You heard me say that, and you took it and ran with it. If you think about the grand scale, if you think about how compelling, Destry Tarlton's stories were before he lost the championship, and of course, main eventing several pay-per-views, and including the biggest pay-per-view of them all, or one of the biggest pay-per-views of them all, the AOA and NXTV Worlds Collide deal. So there's your answer to that. A2J and Johnny Rivers, where have they main evented? When have they been heavyweight champion? Heavyweight belts hold weight. You're saying that this is the guy who leads our company. This is how we're representing. This is what we're putting our best foot forward. This is the man right now. And A2J, Johnny Rivers, they got the following. They got all this. They got all that. They're up high on the list. But, they haven't reached the level quite yet that Destry Tarlton has. Does he have, or do they have the potential to? Yes, they do. But are they there now? Not now, not yet. Let's move along. Number 17, Starboy. It's getting interesting here. Starboy, another person who was on the list. He's a very flamboyant character. He's done a lot of things to, get himself out there, to get himself known, to get his personality over. Even given just such a little bit of time and things like that, he hasn't really been given much opportunity. But he made what he could out of it. So, he has this spot here, and we want Starboy to come back, but I already know, how things go. You already mentioned, I don't want to, go off into a tirade on, guys not having spaces. I understand. Number 16, Johnny Money. We're moving up here on the list. Definitely a star. Another one of the guys just like Tyrone Andre. When I saw him, I was like, absolute star. Written all over him. Run with this guy. Shoot him to the moon, and he's done fairly well. Again, this guy could be, in the top 10, or, maybe even the top 5. But when he took all those losses, those really, counted against him. And the fact that he's been able to climb back, you see the arrow pointing upwards. The fact that he's able to climb back, up the ladder has really helped him out. He was really falling off, but the fact that he's bounced back the way he has, and he's still got a long way to go. He's got a lot of work to do. But Johnny Money is a formidable guy on anybody's roster, and he even gets a lot of downloads when he's put out there. I don't remember, but he was one of the higher downloads when the 2K17 series was out. All right, number 15. All right, you still with me?
I'm here. I'm listening.
All right. We're getting to the nitty gritty here. All right, TRA, Team NVS. We put them all together, a lot like Gorgon and J.J. Strong. They're sort of all inclusive here. When you consider over the past year, they just really sort of got split up, and two of the girls moved to the main roster. But if you consider, from then to now, I mean, absolute, one of the best years out of everybody in the entire company. Do we agree with that? I mean, Tia Ray making a splash on her debut. She kept the momentum going. She brought in the sisters or whatever, how it went. Cassidy Valentine had the women's championship at one point. Now Akira's the champion. Tia, she's over here. She's got the Eastern Women's Championship. They held down the tag championships. I mean, covered in gold. And then, Cassidy being chosen, it was a point that one of the members of Team NVS, not necessarily Cassidy, one of the members of Team NVS, one of those girls was chosen, and it was asked, hey, we want one of them. So, and then Cassidy was chosen once it was asked, okay, or something like that, something along those lines. So, that's when we already knew, okay, they've got steam, and, everybody loves them. I mean, you either love them or you love to hate them. And again, we already talked about the Dixie thing. So that's why they're at that number 15, very, very high on the list. All right, let's move on, Justin. Because we're losing sunlight here. All right, so at number 14, NWN, member Dwayne Frost comes in with the big bang. One of the bigger names, one of the big pop-offs for this whole NWN gimmick. That's one of the first guys that XTV saw when we were first starting the whole idea. So he got picked. It could have been anybody, but Dwayne Frost and Nate Shields. Dwayne Frost was like a last minute pick, to be in the NWN. They wanted somebody, with more of a Scott Hall kind of presence, if I could be candid. But they took the guy, they turned him into Scott Steiner or whatever it was. And so, they made it work. So there you have it there, Dwayne Frost. And, he's done formidable things in AOA. You can't forget about, what he's done in AOA, plus holding down the All-American Championship. He's a standout guy. He's a standout competitor. He's lost a whole lot of weight. He slimmed down. I think he's changing his persona. He's changing, how he approaches. So, I'm interested in seeing if he's going to change sort of his fighting style or whatever the case may be. It's interesting seeing him because I've seen him go through a whole lot of different phases and looks, from then till now. But definitely deserving of this spot. In my opinion, you probably, don't really like this.
I mean, I like Frost. I'm a big fan of Frost. I'm a big fan of Frost. So, I ain't really mad at him being right there. And the NWN thing was hot. You know what I mean? It was a big deal.
Still is a big deal. King Kong has that thing, it's flying off the shelves like hotcakes, all right? Number 13.
Uh-oh.
Number 13. Listen, this didn't happen on purpose, all right? This is just the way it is. Killer, you're at number 13, all right? So people have, they get all creepy about the number 13 or Woogie, whatever. Listen, that's your number.
I don't think that Killer gonna be happy about being put at that spot. How did you guys come up? How did you guys come up with that decision?
Listen, number 13. We're talking about the top 50. Number 13. Are you kidding me? Are you gonna argue with that number? Are you gonna say that it's a problem with you being at number 13 when all things considered, you spent most of the past year behind bars. People know about you because of your XTV03 reputation and everything that ensued there. But I mean, you've managed, and again, the West Coast guys are a little different, but the Killer has managed to get his persona over and to get over who he is through the few times that he's made his appearance. He's always made himself very well known, even if he's not booked, even if he's not scheduled to be on the TV. He's on the phone. He's doing all the things that I said that Justin and all these other guys should be doing. He's doing those things in spite of not being booked, in spite of not made to have an appearance there. I'm stumbling over my words here, but in spite of that, he's still able to make people know who he is, feel who he is, and look forward to seeing him get his ass kicked.
Yeah, but I mean, with the ego the size of the Killers, I'm almost 100% positive that he just would take exception to being perhaps under this next guy, Z Ice.
Z Ice, it's almost no comparison. The only reason why Z Ice isn't any higher is because, he's not an in-ring competitor. But at the end of the day, he's still, one of the most important pieces. He's like the king piece on the chessboard. He's a very important piece to the show of AOA. He draws you in. His backstage segments are one of the more entertaining parts of the show. All his interactions. He's one of the first people that I personally noticed on the show. He pulls you in. He draws you in. He's got that smooth style. You never know where he's going to pop up. He's shown up in NXTV arenas. He's shown up here. He's shown up there. He makes, groundbreaking decisions. And, he's definitely a person who, everyone is talking about. He's more like he's more like a facilitator. He brings things together. He causes things to happen, and we recognize who Z Ice is. He even had the venture, the TV show that it got canceled, but he tried his hand in the ring. It necessarily didn't work out for him, but he makes it known that he's out there representing for AOA. He's trying to put his company on the map, and he's getting his face out there at the same time. A very smart man. Z Ice has to get the credit that he deserves here.
All right, moving along, Z Ice, and shout out to Z Ice too. Oh shoot, how about this? Your boy.
Justin, you made it. You're at the 10th spot. After all your nagging and crying and complaining, you got an arrow pointing upward. You're at the 10th spot. Congratulations. This podcast is stellar. You're about to have 50 episodes. Just it seems like everything you touch just turns into gold. It's like all you have to do is say something and it'll happen. You've been one of the more deeper characters for all these years.
Lay it on me.
I don't have to tell you. I'm not just blowing smoke. I said all these things about these other guys. I'm not just going to cut it short just because you're here. I can be completely honest. You've chewed my ass out so many different times, for your own reasons. But at the end of the day, we know that, XTV would probably not even be what it is if it didn't have Ernest Justin Turkey Leg's voice. So, and that's a shoot right there. So, it just goes without saying.
Oh yeah, well, for the sake of time, we can move on, but I can listen to this all day. But I saw that and I was happy, man. I'm very happy with that. Being where it is. Of course, this list, and now we're getting into the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. This list, and at this point, I think I'm just gonna name off the top 10 because we're really cutting into our time here. So we got me at the 10th spot, David B-Boy at number 9, Bob Classic at number 8, Big Trap at number 7, Johnny Wells at number 6, Raylan at number 5. Number 4 is Darren Tarlton. Number 3 is Nate Shields. Number 2 is Tavari Howard. And number 1 is King Kong. All right, so let's just rapid fire real quick, Vince, and just talk about this top 10 list.
Well, I mean, this is all right. If I could put it all in a nutshell, this is what we feel today and over the past year or so, what everybody has been talking about. This is what has been the main buzz, and a lot of these guys have had dancing partners. All right, let's start at number 1. King Kong has been, the number 1 guy for the better part of the year, probably the better part of last year. Ever since they handed him the ball, he has not dropped it. He has drawn more and more and more people in. They have kept him at the top. With him not being there, NXTV would have still struggled, perhaps. And this is just my opinion, but they probably would have, struggled for a long time thereafter in finding a top guy, because a whole lot of those guys weren't ready. You have to have somebody like him, as your top guy with the baby faces chasing. Meanwhile, all these other guys are building a name, having feuds with each other, while King Kong runs amok as the champion, making guys chase, making you care about guys. He's made Big Trap. Big Trap, he's done a whole lot, but he was made once he got into the ring with King Kong. Everyone who gets in there with King Kong, look at JP. Look at the match that he had. The week before, no one really knew about JP. They didn't care that much. They saw him in the ring. Now he's got a little bit of weight under his belt, in the eyes of a whole lot of the newer fans and the older fans. Because let's be honest, a whole lot of guys just did not really know JP's pedigree. So this is a chance for him to do it all over again, or do it in a different way. He's got a real shot. Of course, I'm talking about JP. He's not on the list. All right, who else did I say? Tavari Howard, number 2. Very, very close, he and King Kong, but we had to give it to King Kong, seeing as he was the guy who has been, he's got the flagship show. But Tavari Howard, has done a whole lot himself. He's one of the great talkers, and he was also named, I think, one of J&W's favorites, in NXTV. So that definitely counts. Same thing with Wells there. That's how he ended up so high. Wells has come up real high. But let me just go in order here. Nate Shields at number 3. Nate Shields, in our opinion, the biggest, I wouldn't say the biggest star in AOA, but he is the most intriguing, or was at the time when we came out with this list. He's drawn the most attention. He's the one who drew us in, per se, who brought in NXTV and XTV, seeing as the whole thing when he first popped up with on the Dream Show. I don't remember what it was, but before that he was in a match, I think, with Brock Lesnar, and then he just happened to pop up here on the screen. No one expected to see him, and it was on and popping since then, bro. I mean, that's the stuff that wrestling fans live for, bro. That's the stuff that people want to see. Surprises, brand new faces. You remember, Justin, WCW would happen if a WWE guy would show up on that program. Everyone would go nuts. The place would go bonkers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that's the deal. And then the NWN. And then Worlds Collide. I mean, need I say more about Nate Shields? Darren Tarlton, the AOA World Champion, he's going upwards. Talk about a guy who just was, maybe a year ago, probably wouldn't have even been on the list. If this list, existed last year. Remember, we skipped last year, but we're bringing it back here. Darren Tarlton is at number 4. He's got a mind of his own. He does his own thing. No one knows what's in his head. No one knows what he's going to do. He's a lunatic. He shows up at all these different places. We got another Mr. International. We were talking about Duke Zynda earlier. Darren Tarlton's already doing that. He's already, across the board, in all these different leagues. And, the things that he's doing in AOA right now, present day, as the champion, to us, he has been the most interesting champion in AOA for a long time. He's very compelling, and you might not agree with everything that he's doing, but you care. He draws you in. And, need I say more about Darren Tarlton? All right. Who else? Let's see. We got Raylan, of course. The TV show. That really took her to a whole nother level. But even what she's done on NXTV. With the whole Johnny Money and where she's moved from. I mean, she's really moved up real fast. They've just tied a rocket to her. But she's got this, charisma that the fans are just naturally drawn to. And XTV, they did right by her. That's one thing that they did right. They got to keep on. They got to keep on moving her. She's got to work on her mic skills still. She's still got a few kinks in there where she's just doesn't seem all the way comfortable with herself yet. She's still got to get there, but she's definitely on the right track, and she's a huge draw. People are engaged with her. They care about the show. She got a bunch of nice comments there on Twitter via Terry Williams, promoting the show and different things like that. So yeah, star written all over her. It's definitely working for Raylan. I was talking about Wells. He's at number 6 here. Wells, another favorite of J&W's. Appreciate that. That definitely helps. But besides that, I mean, all the things that he's done with Tavari, and he's just one of the guys. He's got that voice there. You always knew. I think he came in about 11 years ago. Not too far after Detail or before. Sometime within that or whatever. But you always knew that he was going to be something. Or even if you didn't, you're seeing it now. If you didn't believe in Wells, you're seeing the potential that was already there. He's actually honing it in. It's starting to come to him now. I remember in 2012, he wasn't really doing so good. He was really struggling to find his niche, to figure out who he is, or to get that spot. He was begging for it. Now it's starting to come to him naturally, and he's being the star that he was always meant to be. So his arrow's pointing upwards. He's looking real good out here. Is Wells. Big Trap, he's number 7. You notice there the arrow's pointing downward for Big Trap. I mean, Big Trap, He's a great star. He's had a great year. But ever since joining the main roster, and I know it's been a small amount of time, but I'm not feeling him on the main roster. I mean, can I be honest? He hasn't done anything. I understand. I understand it's not been a lot of time, but at the same time, I mean, you probably pulled the trigger on him a little too early.
His time was done in NXTV. Wasn't nothing left for him. I mean, after the King Kong thing, it wasn't nowhere else for him to go. He had to come to the main roster. It had to be done the way it was done. A lot of this shit is so debatable. Go ahead, tell us about Bob Classic. Yeah, tell us about Bob Classic and then David B-Boy, and we're gonna get out of here.
All right, so Bob Classic, he's over the killer, and this is why, because I know that this is gonna come up, and you're gonna hear from the horse's mouth. Bob Classic, the reason that he's here at number 8, and Bob, you think probably that you should be number 1. Listen, time is passing you by. Look at Bob Classic, has an arrow in the middle. It's sort of, iffy with him. But the thing is, is that he's a great presence on the microphone when he does his ring announcing. Again, he spent a good portion of the year in jail behind bars, but him and the Killer were able to make their presence known. They stayed out there. They stayed, they stayed in the eyes and on the minds of the fans, and so things like that count. They're huge stars in XTV. They're top stars. Again, usually would be number 1 and number 2, but not the case this year because Bob just hasn't done enough. Of course, they did the tag team match with 80s Guy and Hank. We mentioned those guys earlier, and you saw that like at a lower number there on the card or on this entire list. But with Bob Classic and the Killer, they're bigger stars than them. Let's be honest, all right? So that's the thing with Bob, and then with David B-Boy being at number 9, his arrow's going up. He's got a lot of potential, but he could end up in that same situation like I was saying with Big Trap. Big Trap's going down. If B-Boy doesn't find a way to sort of change and reinvent himself or do something that's going to make people care, about him as the champion and about his story, because he's done being the underdog. You're not the underdog anymore. Now you're the man. Now you're on top. Now you have to tell a new story. And that's the bottom line, Justin.
Vince Venom, ladies and gentlemen. Man, from the XTV Observer, another crazy ass list that's damn near gave me a headache because I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But thanks, Vince, though.
Anytime, Justin. Listen, take your time, think it over. Listen to the points that I make. It makes sense. It's the best you can do. Think about the people. Look at Walter Forrester. Okay, he's not on the list. Look at I can't think of all the guys, but there's so many people that just aren't on the list who you would otherwise think what should be. Look at people like the Best. He's not there. Alec Crawford. He's got a show. Look at Millennium. He's not there. These guys, they're not there. They're not on the list, and they're doing great things in XTV. But at the same time, there's not a place for them. So sit on it. It's not for you to get upset about. Hey, listen, we're not perfect. All right, we're not perfect people, but this is what we came up with. This is our best, and here's to you this year's top 50 superstars. And next year it's probably going to even be more complicated because there's more and more people coming to be a part of this. So there you have it.
Oh man, over 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen, on the line with Vince Venom. Thank you so much again. Man, it's an interesting list. Hey man, no hard feelings, all right? And tell Julia that I said hello.
She's sick right now. She was supposed to talk to you, but I had to fill in for her.
Yeah, I know. I got the story from Barb.
Hey, look, she loves you. Look, we love you, Justin, all right? Well, I listened to all your shows. Congratulations for 50 episodes, all right? And I look forward to 50 more.
All right, man. See you later, Vince.
Goodbye, Justin.
Great talking to Vince Venom. It's always an interesting thing hearing his opinion. By the way, it's 11:11 a.m. I always point out 11. Hey, and it was 11 seconds into this recording. That's crazy. 11's everywhere. But anyways, yeah, man, great talking to him. And, hey, like I said, man, I get a little spirited. I get a little excited about, XTV stars and what I think about them. I was, legitimately happy that I was put at number 10. I mean, I'm one of the guys, top 10. I feel good about that. That's very kind of them to think so highly of me. And the numbers have proved it. The XTV West Coast, big component and a whole lot of decision making. Hey man, you be the judge yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You go ahead and you be the judge because based on a whole lot of what
this guy was saying they are basing this everything on, it's kind of screwy to me, you know, and that's what was upsetting me. But at the same time, it's like I said in the intro, you know, maybe, you know, we should have more of a, maybe I should have more of an open mind or something like that, you know. Tell us what you guys think about it. You know, again, it's Ernest Justin Turkeyleg with his 49th podcast, and my next guest, you already knew who it is. I've been hyping it up because I've been very excited about it. AVW, ladies and gentlemen, the creator of this here whole gig. We're gonna pick his brain and see what he's doing. See what he's got stirred up in that psychotic mind of his. I'm just joking. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for joining me. Definitely appreciate it. You spending your time here for a little while with me. And until next time, from the beautiful, hot ass Sunshine State, it's Ernest Justin Turkeyleg saying it's a good time. Good night.